Imagine finding out that millions of businesses across America have been operating behind a corporate veil, and now that veil is about to be lifted. The government just launched what might be the biggest push for business transparency we've seen in decades.
That's fascinating timing, especially with all the recent discussions about financial oversight. What exactly are we looking at here?
Well, it's pretty groundbreaking. The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network just dropped this bombshell requiring companies to report who really owns and controls them. You know how people say follow the money? Now they're saying show us who's following the money.
Hmm. And this isn't just a simple form-filling exercise, right? We're talking about some serious requirements.
Oh, you bet. Let me break this down. Companies need to report anyone who owns 25% or more, plus anyone with substantial control. We're talking full legal names, addresses, birth dates, the works. It's like creating a detailed family tree of corporate power.
That's quite extensive. How are businesses supposed to keep up with all this?
Well, here's where it gets interesting. They've created this tiered system for compliance. Existing companies have until January 1st, 2025. But, and this is crucial, new companies formed after January 1st, 2025 only get 30 days to file. It's like they're saying, welcome to business, now show us your cards.
So if I'm understanding correctly, this is going to affect millions of small businesses across the country.
Exactly. And get this, it's not just a one-time thing. Companies have to update their information within 30 days of any changes. It's like maintaining a living document of who's really pulling the strings in American business.
That ongoing maintenance requirement could really catch some businesses off guard. What kind of penalties are we looking at for non-compliance?
You know, that's where things get serious. We're talking potential civil and criminal penalties. But here's something interesting they've done to help. They've created this thing called a FinCEN identifier. Think of it like a corporate social security number that makes future filings easier.
That's actually pretty clever. It sounds like they're trying to balance enforcement with practicality.
Right. And here's another interesting angle. Not everyone has to comply. Banks, government entities, and large operating companies with more than 20 full-time employees and $5 million in annual sales are exempt. It's like they're focusing their microscope on smaller businesses, where financial crimes are more likely to hide.
The international implications of this must be significant, especially for foreign companies doing business here.
Absolutely huge. In fact, many European countries already have similar requirements. It's part of this global trend toward transparency. You know how they say sunlight is the best disinfectant? Well, this is like installing industrial-strength floodlights in the business world.
That's quite a vivid image. How do you see this playing out in practice?
Well, I think we're going to see some interesting developments. First, there might be a rush of business restructuring as companies try to simplify their ownership structures. Second, we could see some businesses choosing to consolidate or merge just to qualify for exemptions. And third, this is really fascinating, we might see new business models emerge that are built around transparency from the ground up.
Those are some compelling predictions. What should businesses be doing right now to prepare?
So here's my practical advice. Start mapping out your ownership structure now. Don't wait until the deadline is breathing down your neck. Document everything, gather the required information, and consider getting those FinCEN identifiers early. It's like preparing for a major audit. You want to be ready before the countdown begins.
That makes a lot of sense. Any final thoughts on the broader implications?
You know, I think we're witnessing a fundamental shift in how business operates in America. This isn't just about compliance. It's about creating a more transparent, accountable business environment. And while it might seem burdensome now, it could actually make things easier in the long run. Imagine being able to verify business partners instantly, or having clearer paths to financing because ownership structures are already documented and verified.
That's a really optimistic way to look at it.
Well, change is always challenging, but sometimes what looks like a burden today becomes an advantage tomorrow. The key is to stay ahead of the curve and see these requirements not as obstacles, but as opportunities to build more resilient and transparent businesses.